called 6 Simple Steps to Reset Your Hormones and Shed Stubborn Weight. Naomi, are you recording this?
I just hit record. I told everyone about a few technical problems we've had before. One of them was me forgetting to record the webinar.
Oh, because we sent it out to everybody. So, yeah, that was it. So we're just ticking all the boxes as we go. And while we're ticking all the boxes, just to let you know, everybody, we want to tell you all about our course at the end of this webinar called Breakthrough, but we'll get to that, towards the end. And we are going to do question and answers at the end. If you've got a burning question and you just can't hold on to it, or you're worried that you're going to forget to ask it, pop it in the side and we'll hopefully be able to scroll through them. Otherwise, definitely towards the end we'll do the Q&A, and when we get to the end we'll also tell you about your extra special bonuses as well. So we may as well get started now. And I've lost, I'm on the wrong...
We're going to be doing tonight how estrogen and stress affect your hormones and your weight. So this is a topic. I think estrogen is just something that I research every single day, and I know Brenda's very interested in the stress aspect of it.
So Naomi, I've now got to go and get something. So I might just introduce myself and yeah, let's go to...
I'll do the little intro and you go and get something.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Also, when we're talking about stress and doing things like this, we hope that you're all sitting there nice and comfortably, having your chamomile tea, because chamomile tea is beautiful. I know a lot of women do have problems with sleep and insomnia, so make sure you've got your chamomile tea and just try and switch off everything. Turn off your phone, Facebook, get a notepad, pen and paper ready to take notes, because there is going to be a lot of information in this webinar. We have packed it for some information, so take notes as you go, and then when questions come up, either hold on to the question till the end or pop the question in the chat and we'll get to it. And we're also going to be answering more questions in an email so we're sending out. So just take notes, and whatever relates to you, have a think about it and write it in the chat room. So now we want to go into a little bit about why we do what we do. Oh, hi, Beck. Beck's just put a question in. So you should have worksheets actually to run through. I don't know if you've got worksheets that answers questions about, if you've printed that worksheet out, you can fill that in. If not, just take some notes and then you can answer some questions and we'll answer the questions at the end. But if there's anything that you really want to go more in depth into, we can. But definitely the worksheets, definitely the worksheets will help you. They'll prompt you. If you fill out those worksheets, it will give you an idea of what's actually an issue for you. What is it with estrogen? What is it you need to do? And then you can take that sort of step-by-step guide. So just have the worksheet can actually just be printed out online. Not printed out, but it can actually be filled out in Word. So you can just bring it up and just fill it out. It's a PDF you can just fill out electronically. So if you can't print it out now, you can just do it electronically. But we really encourage you to do the worksheets, because it's going to really help you with this whole process and help you with resetting your hormones and also helping with your stubborn weight. So now we'll dive into it. Are you there, Brenda? Hello? Brenda, are you there?
Hi.
Hi. So we'll dive into it now. Here we go.
Yeah, so this is about what's made us want to do the work that we do with women and mums and families. And so just to share a little bit about my journey to motherhood, which pretty much was the catalyst for me doing the work that I do and becoming a health coach. So basically, it took me, sorry, I've just been running around looking for my glasses.
Oh, no.
It's funny. I was researching our webinar coming for longevity and, reading about eyesight and everything. But yeah, it's one of the signs of aging, isn't it? Yeah. So I've got my glasses now.
It's the longevity webinar. So.
Oh dear. So anyway, so in my late 20s, basically I had a 2-year experience with infertility, and it was quite a painful journey. And You know, it actually took me 4 years to finally conceive. But, you know, I always think that there's something to learn. Our bodies are always trying to tell us something. And what I discovered through that experience, as painful as it was, that I had a host of health issues that I actually didn't even know about. I discovered, once I went to a holistic fertility centre and worked with a naturopath, I discovered I had anemia, endometriosis, hormone imbalance, toxic buildup, vitamin and mineral deficiencies. All of these things were getting in the way of me falling pregnant. And it was 2 years of actually focusing in and changing my diet, changing my lifestyle, taking lots of vitamins before I was actually able to conceive. So, you know, prior to discovering all of those things, I'd been walking around feeling pretty average, often really tired. You know, I discovered that I was, you know, anemic, and little wonder I was so tired. I was exhausted, irritable, suffering really painful periods, and, you know, just not listening to my body. Okay, so sometimes it takes drastic measures, and for me that was infertility, to actually wake up and go, okay, my health is the most important thing in the world. So look, and, you know, even though I was able to eventually fall pregnant, you know, pregnancy triggered another health issue. Sadly, it triggered irritable bowel syndrome, and then I experienced postnatal depression, which wasn't helped by my hormones flying all over the place. Then I had cravings after pregnancy and quite a substantial weight gain as well. And that's me sort of at my heaviest. I'd gained, you know, that's me 10 kilos heavier than I am today. So, you know, but I was lucky because I learnt a lot through my fertility treatment. So I basically had this toolbox that I could always, you know, dip back into and get my health back on track. And so that's me today with my miracle boy there on the right, with my family. And my daughter was very, very easy to conceive. In fact, she was a bit of a surprise. We were expecting to have to go through the whole process for another 2 years, but it was nothing like that. And so she was a lovely,
such a beautiful
story.
That
it was just
so common. Yeah, done all
yeah.
that work on your hormones. That's such a beautiful story.
Well, Naomi and everybody, these are the exact experiences that set me out on my mission to spread the message that women and mums absolutely have to take care of themselves. And, you know, that's what I do. I show them how. So that's a little bit about that. What about you, Naomi? What made you want to help other women?
Look, there's that grumpy picture.
Yeah.
I mean, this is me when I was, you know, I must have been in my mid-20s, and I was just tired. I was worn out. I was puffy. I was depressed. I was drinking. I was eating, and I just didn't know what was going on. And it was just a spiral that started for me when I was in my teens. I was 13 years old. I had tremendous pain in my abdomen. I went to the doctor and it wasn't treated properly. I was put on the oral contraceptive pill at a very young age. And no investigations were looked into. And it actually emerged that I had a ruptured ovarian cyst at that age that was never treated. So from 13 years of age, I was on the oral contraceptive pill. I got puffier. It interfered with my thyroid. Both my parents have hypothyroidism. So I'm always a candidate to have a thyroid that gets into a little bit of a sticky situation now and again. But because of the oral contraceptive pill, because of the estrogen dominance, I was depressed, I was puffy, I was tired, my thyroid was failing me. And I just didn't know what to do, just did not know what to do. And so for years I went through just trying different medications. I had UTIs for years. I was on antibiotics at one stage for 6 months in a row for a UTI that would just never go away. Infections wouldn't go away. My skin just felt awful. I just wasn't in a good place until one day I decided enough was enough, and I decided to investigate it a little bit more, investigate what was going on. And I was so hypothyroid at only around 25, 26, about 25 years of age, I'd say, or 24. Very hypothyroid. It was in fact, it's your metabolism. So in fact, when you're hypothyroid, it is killing you slowly unless you're doing something about it. So I saw a naturopath, got my diet in order, started studying for myself about nutrition, and within weeks after changing my diet, I can tell you, within weeks of taking sugar out, getting good food into my diet, stopping all the alcohol, I started to get back on track. And just having that clarity and just having that happiness through the day that I didn't have before was amazing. So people need to, you know, getting into this and getting your hormones balanced as soon as possible just does so much for your health, well-being, but just how you feel in general. So that's why I do what I do, and that's why I'm so passionate about teaching women to look after themselves, but also teaching women to investigate. You know, even if you're told nothing's wrong with you, even if your symptoms, you're told that's normal, then it's just, you know, investigate further, because feeling like crap isn't necessarily normal. And there's the glasses I was talking about.
Oh, the lighter ones.
Those are the lighter ones with my
and your cute little puss.
who we locked out last night.
You look much healthier there, Naomi.
I feel much healthier. In fact, when I started getting healthy, I actually my wrinkles got less deep than they were when in my early 20s, when I was not sleeping and drinking and eating lots and lots of sugar. Jelly beans for breakfast, that kind of thing.
Oh my God.
So does this sound like you? Does that sound like you? Have you had a journey of hormonal imbalance, of fatigue all the time, you know, unable to lose weight? Brenda went through a bit of a phase of that, constantly feeling frantic and frazzled. I know at times we felt like that. And I know when I was going through my health journey, fatigue for me was debilitating. It ruined holidays for me. I mean, it was so debilitating. You know, are your moods a constant roller coaster, up and down, depressed, then anxious, then happy and sad, and just not quite sure why? Do you get PMT, PMS, PMDD? I've just noticed someone in the chat room has said they've got PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And yes, that has so much to do with hormones, but particularly your diet and sugar and getting the right diet. And are you just confused? Are you confused about what is healthy for you because you've been told so many things, you've read so many things on the internet, your doctor said your blood results are A-OK, and it's very confusing, you don't know where to turn. And that's where hopefully we can help you out. You know, in this webinar series, we're here to try and answer those questions and open doors for you, so you actually know what the next step can be for you.
And does everybody have their worksheets? I just want to remind everyone to fill those in as well as we go. But for now, let's run through our simple steps. And we just want to remind you that getting on top of your health does not have to cost a fortune. It does not have to be stressful. It doesn't have to be difficult. You can do it at your own pace. And what we always say is, we give a lot of content and a lot of value in our webinars. Don't get overwhelmed. Choose one thing, choose two things that are doable for you, and that's where you start to make a change. You implement it and you make it permanent, and then you can choose another two things. Okay, so yep, and you can start today, and that's the only commitment that we ask from all of you. So yep, just as I said, what will be okay. And so this is what we'll be covering today: the impact of elevated estrogen on your health and what stress really does to you. So Naomi, can you help us understand what estrogen is and what it does and why it's so important?
Estrogen is a female sex hormone, and men do have it as well. And why it's so important is because estrogen is so important for fertility, our vitality, but when it's out of balance, it really doesn't work well for us. So estrogen is produced in the ovaries, and in some people other estrogens are produced in fatty tissue or produced in the adrenals due to stress. Sometimes we get too much, sometimes we get too little. But what we're going to talk today about is when your estrogen is actually too high. And it's very common for women to have elevated estrogen. And elevated estrogen can lead to PMT, PMDD, PMS, weight gain, cellulites, particularly around the bum and the thighs, and also estrogen-dependent cancers such as breast, ovarian, and endometrial cancer. So it's really important to keep your estrogen under control. People with fatigue and insomnia can get both. I know that sounds crazy, but fatigue during the day and elevated estrogen during the night leads to not being able to sleep. And in some women, they have hot flushes due to fluctuating estrogen levels. Depression is a massive one. Women that suffer from depression and are not sure why, it's often due to hormones, and estrogen can be the one that's the factor here. Variable moods, so going from feeling okay to impatient quite quickly, depressed, happy and sad, all in one day, just like the weather here. And low thyroid as well. So this is what I went through. I was already had elevated estrogen. I was put on the oral contraceptive pill that is an estrogen oral contraceptive pill, and that blocked my thyroid. So estrogen actually blocks your thyroid receptors, and so it leaves you with a sluggish metabolism, constipation, low thyroid. And we're going to be talking about low thyroid in our next webinar. So that's going to be super great for those of you that suffer from low thyroid symptoms. But we know that these aren't just the only symptoms. There are other symptoms, other strange symptoms that you may not even know about. And so that's why it's really great to know what's going on in your body and know what's happening to you. So keratosis pilaris, which is like chicken skin on the backs of your arms. Hair loss, so women that come to me and constantly losing hair. Constipation is a big one as well. Constipation, especially constipation prior to your menstrual cycle. Raging appetite, low sex drive, and then infertility as well, which is one of the things that Brenda unfortunately went through in her first struggles. So why is it high? And here's the thing about estrogen. A lot of women that go through perimenopause and postmenopause assume that their estrogen is low. But here's the thing. We have a number of different estrogens in our body. E1, E2, E3, so that's estrone, estradiol, and estriol. And normally estradiol produced in your ovaries goes low after menopause and estrone goes high. So you can't assume you've got low estrogen and just supplement with estrogen, supplement with different things and try and get your estrogen high without understanding what your estrogens are doing, because you can be making it worse. These are some of the reasons that we've found that really impact your estrogen and make them high. So we've got your environment. You know, we've got plastic bottles, BPAs, chemicals in the environment, perfumes, we've got paint, we've got definitely one of the things that I found is a huge factor on elevated estrogen and also thyroid problems is spray. Weed killer. So people that live near big golf courses or big parkland that's sprayed quite frequently do sometimes get issues with elevated estrogen, and so you might go through quite fatigued phases and not quite sure why you're fatigued, and so it's that's a huge factor that I've seen. And look, here's other factors that produce elevated estrogen. We've got stress, diet. You know, are you eating lots and lots of tofu? Are you eating lots and lots of intensively farmed meat? How is your thyroid? If you've got hypothyroidism, you've most likely got elevated estrogen. Medication you're taking, and also liver health. And then also a new one that lots of people are talking about, and that's methylation and MTHFR. That actually leads to estrogen dominance. We've also been asked a question about, is this webinar for premenopausal women? This webinar is for pre and post. It's actually going through the stages, and it will help you with hormone balancing whether you're not in your pre or your post, and you'll understand a little bit more about that as we talk about the different estrogens and the thyroid as we go through the webinar series. And then gut health is a huge one. So if you've got the wrong bacteria in your gut's going to be synthesizing the wrong hormones, the wrong estrogens, the wrong androgens for you. So that's a huge factor. And here's what you can do. So we've got diet, and we've also got lifestyle factors.
So I'd love to talk a little bit about the diet, and this. I was just thinking that drink 2 liters of filtered water a day. That's definitely something that's doable and achievable if you don't do anything else from this webinar. And I always recommend, like, I sit at my desk, and you see me all the time, Naomi. I'm always drinking out of that massive 1 litre bottle, so that I know, you know, once that's finished and I fill it up, and then, you know, I drink the next bottle, and then I'm done for the day. Because dehydration, even if it's really mild, it causes your stress hormones to increase, because the the body interprets dehydration as a life-threatening situation, basically. So when your stress hormones increase, it causes a cascade of changes to your hormones. So that's why it's really, really important to keep up your filtered water. Another tip is to eat 40 grams of fibre daily. And we're talking about fibre that's naturally contained in whole foods, such as chia seeds. If you know what they are, I had a client today who'd never heard of them, which is quite a surprise. But you know, they're really fantastic, and if they're well prepared, they're easy to digest, and they're great source of fibre. As is things like psyllium husk, buckwheat, fruits and vegetables, and other whole grains like brown rice and oats. They basically, by having that fibre, it helps to prevent your body reabsorbing those recycled estrogenic chemicals, such as the plastics and the pesticides that Naomi was just talking about. And it also encourages the swift elimination of toxins and old hormones out of your bowels. So really, really important to eat lots of fibre. And a really simple way of thinking about that is just increasing your veggie intake, for example, daily. And so following the breakthrough diet plan, which is something we'll talk about a little bit later, but basically the breakthrough plan, it's an e-course that Naomi and I run, it's focused on cleansing and detoxing. And you'll often hear that people think about, you know, detoxing as a fad, and, you know, probably unnecessary, because our organs are made to filter themselves all the time. And while that's very true, they are, in this day and age, we are constantly taking in toxins and other nasty stuff that our bodies are just not used to dealing with. So we've got an onslaught of things like processed foods, unnatural body care products that are full of toxins, pollution, you know, left, right and centre. And this is really quite new to us as a species. And our bodies aren't designed to filter these types of toxins out. So what happens is they accumulate. And that's really, really bad news for us and our hormones, because it doesn't allow us to excrete the excess hormones. And so they just keep on building up and building up. And we start to see all the health issues, some of which we've mentioned, they start to pop up. So, yeah, so getting back to, you know, cleansing and detoxing, we recommend doing a big 3-week cleanse twice a year with small intermittent cleanses, you know, here and there, whenever you feel like, if you listen to your body, you'll know when it's time to detox. And a lot of people after the sort of school holidays, Christmas holidays, are feeling the need to do that, definitely. So
the areas that you can cleanse, you know, as Brenda was saying, that, you know, it's not just about cleansing your body. We're going to talk about that in just 1 second, but it's also cleansing your environment as well. So just things like swapping out your plastics for glass, just that simple swap. I think when we've talked about this before, and some women can get overwhelmed, but, you know, just do one thing at a time. You know, swap out your plastics for glass first. And honestly, there's nothing, so you don't feel so proud when you open up your cupboard and there's just tons and tons of glass.
And in Sydney, Peters of Kensington have some fantastic, like, big jars to store, you know, all sorts of things. And I just recycle my jars that I use for, you know, I've got raw honey jars, or I've got mustard jars, and you know, I'm quite addicted to.
I've got all my jars. So just start keeping all your glass jars.
Yeah.
And start swapping things out. You know, so when you buy things, if they're in plastic, you can just decant them into the glass and start there. And if you can buy things that aren't in plastic, that's even better.
Yeah.
You know, go natural where you can, as much as you can. And again, you can start slow. So you're all at different places in this journey at the moment. Some of you might be already using all natural body products and house products. Some of you might just be using 1 or 2 things. But, you know, just start with maybe a natural toothpaste, or start with a natural deodorant, or a natural moisturizer, or a natural skin wash, and start with a natural cleaner. You know, just start slowly where you can. We will be giving you advice along the way and recommending certain brands, and we're always here if you want to ask us what the best things are to do. But just if you feel overwhelmed, just start slowly. And invest in some Uvex glasses like I showed you at the beginning of this webinar. You know, they are fantastic at balancing out melatonin, your feel-good hormone, your sleep hormone, and cortisol, your stress hormone. And so they do really impact your health in such a great way. So I really recommend doing that, and I will send a link where you can get them. And then sweat it out. Sweat it out. Make sure you're doing things that get you nice and nice, get your skin sort of detoxing. Go to infrared saunas, do some yoga, dry skin brush, all of those kind of things. They are wonderful for helping you cleanse.
And so when we talk about cleansing, it's not just about your body, it's also your mind and your home. And when I think about, you know, daily life, in terms of cleansing your mind, we are bombarded with so much stimulation every day. It's like, you know, I don't know about you guys, but when I get in the car, I just want to turn the radio off. You know, I just need, you know, that sort of cleanse happening there. When I'm at home, you know, I like it to be silent before everybody gets home and, you know, everything gets turned on. So it's just little things like that. And also, you know, having a bit more of a minimalist approach to your home, actually not having too much sort of mess and too much stuff around is also, you know, a way that you can cleanse, just getting rid of the clutter. And I'm sure you all know that feeling of, you know, when your home is nice and tidy and everything's organised, if you have time for that. So also, you know, the cleanse for the body is what I've already mentioned. So doing a cleanse we highly recommend. And here's an example of a smoothie you can start to introduce. It's a cleansing smoothie, and it's fantastic for cleansing the liver. Keeping in mind that the liver plays a really significant role in hormone imbalances, because basically it breaks down the hormones once they've done their work in the body. So if the female hormone estrogen that we're talking about is not broken down efficiently, this can lead to excessive levels of estrogen in the body. And excess estrogen can cause all those symptoms that Naomi mentioned at the start, like heavy painful menstrual bleeding and weight gain around the hips and buttocks and thighs, causing cellulite around those areas. So if you have a little look about at this recipe, you've got water, coconut water, a head of, you know, some leafy green, some rocket, celery, half a frozen banana, some frozen berries, some nuts, you know, that's for your protein. The cinnamon is to balance your blood sugar, the MCT oil, which, you know, or coconut oil, which is a fantastic fat for hormone balancing, ice, and then just whiz it all up. Some people find that it's not sweet enough. If you're not used to smoothies, you know, you can up the sweetness at the start, but with mine to getting the sort of sugar content lower and lower. My smoothies these days are more savoury, definitely, than sweet. In fact, I can't really do a sweet smoothie at all anymore. I'm so used to these types of smoothies.
Me too.
I'm addicted to them. Okay, so here are some really fantastic liver cleansing foods to introduce into your diet if they don't already exist. Broccoli, cauliflower, garlic and onion, turmeric, parsley, coriander, and protein. Naomi, do you want to talk a bit about how the protein's cleansing?
Yeah, it's something that it's very important to have in your diet when you are trying to cleanse and when you're trying to balance your hormones, because protein essentially is amino acids. So we've got glycine, we've got all of those beautiful amino acids, and they actually go into the system, the amino acids from the protein, they go into your system and they help assist the liver in breaking down toxins and hormones and removing them from your body. If you have a completely protein-free diet while you're trying to detox, there is a good likelihood that the toxins will actually be reabsorbed as byproducts and metabolites into your system. So that's why a lot of people, they get negative problems, negative feelings when they do cleanses, because they might not be having the protein. They might get dizzy, they might get anxious, they might get moody, insomnia, all those kind of things. So that's why it's important. Cleansing the gut is also very important as well. If you don't cleanse the gut, everything's going to just be coming back in. So if you've got a very acid colon, then what can happen is things will just reabsorb, toxins will just reabsorb through the blood vessels, through the gut lining. So you really need to make sure that you're also having things to help with the gut. So we love cultured vegetables like kimchi and sauerkraut. Aloe vera is my absolute favorite, fresh aloe vera. And actually cutting fresh aloe vera from a plant and popping it in a smoothie, that is a wonderful way to cleanse and just reduce inflammation in the gut. Okra is an amazing gut cleanser, wonderful for the gut. You know, it's kind of sticky. It really helps with inflammation and cleansing the gut. So just making a nice Indian stir fry chili curry kind of thing. I was trying to get there. Curry will help your gut. Chia seeds are amazing because they absorb toxins and then you can then excrete them out through your gut. Kefir again is wonderful, and I love using activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is fantastic for people that might be going out and you might be eating something that's not so good, or you know that you've got a parasitic infection, or you know that you're doing a little bit of a gut detox. Activated charcoal is important because what activated charcoal does is it helps to excrete those toxins and the byproducts of, if you're, you know, candida or yeast, die off. So that's why that's important. So it's really important to make sure you're adding a few things for your gut and for your liver, because those are really important cleansing paths in your body.
And if you're not familiar with most of these things on this list, which is quite possible, please don't get overwhelmed or worry about it. Just reach out to us and we're more than happy to explain exactly what they are and where you can get them and how you can make them. Okay?
Sorry, I'm replying to people's comments, but for some reason my webinar chat is just not letting me reply properly. So that's why.
Well, we can wait till the end anyway. So hopefully that'll resolve.
Now this is a wonderful. This is just a little tip in terms of, you know, just a little bit of extra cleansing toxins from your body. So toxins every day in our life, in terms of we have toxins in the air from the aluminium, from petrol, from car exhaust, from cleaning products, from farming, from food. So unfortunately there's a lot from mold. So it's really good to make sure, we've already talked about food you can introduce, but also doing a little bit extra. So what I love, dry skin brushing, doing a little bit of dry skin brushing each day. Just before your shower, use a natural bristled brush to dry skin brush, and that's going to make sure that you get rid of as many toxins you can through the skin. Lettuce is wonderful because it's such a great electrolyte kind of food. It's great for cleansing. Coriander and parsley, again, are wonderful for your hormones. Green apples are actually very good for the gut because they've got the pectin in as well. And then saunas, we've talked about infrared saunas. And what we call the breakthrough shot that we do in our program is actually a great shot with a mixture of a few things. And it actually really helps to break down those hormones and excrete them from your body. So it's fantastic. So that's the cleansing. That's the cleansing. There was a lot there, but we talked about so much, some of the best things that you can do to, you know, add into your diet to cleanse, the things that are really powerful. And we kept our word. They're not expensive. You know, it doesn't have to be costly. Those things are there. You just use them in the right way, use them consistently, and that's where you'll get a really good cleanse.
And balance your hormones, which is the whole point.
So we're going to talk about stress now. So Brenda, how is your stress response?
You know, I've been thinking a lot about this because, you know, I've had to come back from a beautiful holiday with my family and hit the ground running. And I thought, wow, you know, how do we all, you know, sustain this? Because it is crazy, you know, being a mom and working, it's just insane. There's no two ways about it. But I just make sure that I, you know, have times where I'm breathing, I'm doing deep breathing, or I'm putting my feet on the grass, or I'm going for my walks and gazing at the, you know, it's just a given now and it's a no-brainer. And I don't think that we're going to survive life without managing our stress. I think that's the biggest issue that we're facing these days, to be honest.
Stress is the #1 causer now. I mean, it is a huge thing for chronic disease, and women now have overtaken men in heart disease, which is an inflammation, which is huge. So, you know, this is a huge thing. Women are so susceptible to stress, and it's not because we're weak. It's because of everything that's going on around us, and it's about our response to stress. It's about how our body responds to stress. When we get stressed, it sets off a whole reaction that we're going to talk about in a moment, but that leads to inflammation, that leads to poor health, that leads to chronic disease. And that's why stress is so important. I don't think we put enough emphasis on actually trying to teach ourselves to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, because there is so much noise going on outside.
And it is a hard one. It does require such an immense amount of commitment. But this is, I mean, these are some of the things that it actually does, amongst many others.
Stress is actually one of the biggest hormone stealers. So one of the reasons women do suffer from infertility is because they've got low, say, progesterone. Progesterone is needed for fertility. What cortisol does, which is your stress hormone, is it's a little naughty little thing, and our bodies actually prioritize stress. So what our whole hormone system does is it goes and steals progesterone to make it into cortisol. So the more stress you have, the lower those good hormones will be, because they just say, we don't need that. We don't need to reproduce right now. What we really need to do is we need to save ourselves. And I think the best analogy we can use is, it's like in the jungle, not in the jungle, let's say on the plains of Sahara in Africa, we've got the zebra and it's being chased by the lion. And there's only one way that can end. The zebra goes into its fight or flight, goes into its flight, starts running, and either the lion will get the zebra or the lion won't get the zebra. And if the lion doesn't get the zebra, the lion ends up going away, goes and has a little lie down and rest and licks itself, waiting for its next prey, not thinking about what it just lost. And the zebra goes on with its day, munching on grass, not worried about that lion, not thinking to itself, oh my God, that lion is coming after me. Oh, it's just a close shave. Oh, the lion, when's the next lion? Is the lion there? It goes straight back into eating and doing what it needs to do. The problem is we drop things, or we're late for things, or we almost have a little car accident, or we trip over something, or someone says something to us, or something happens at work, and all we do is fester and think about it, think about it, and that's what's going on, and our stress response just keeps building and building.
Yes, so it's chronic stress. We're all really existing in a chronic stress state.
Yes. And it encourages weight gain, it wreaks havoc with your thyroid, and it causes those pesky sugar cravings.
Pesky. They're massive. Oh, yeah. So 3 things you're doing wrong when it comes to stress. Okay, so these are the top things that I see with the clients that come and see me about, whatever health issue that they're experiencing. And the first one's dieting. Diets just do not work when you're stressed out. And we need to make sure that our bodies are functioning optimally and that our hormone environment is favourable. Being stressed all the time keeps our body in that constant state of fight or flight that Naomi was just talking about. And and our stress hormone, like cortisol, is constantly elevated. So, and having this constantly elevated cortisol can increase your hunger and cravings for unhealthy foods. So you can see how difficult it would be to undertake a cleanse or a diet program when you're in this state. So don't diet when you're mega stressed out, basically. Another big one, it's quite contentious, and I always brace myself when I talk about this, but over-exercising. In this fast-paced society, it's so easy to lose track of your own internal state. Okay, so you're probably not realizing that you're pumping out cortisol and other stress hormones hour after hour after hour, and this is taking a toll on your stress. This sort of state, the effects of it is like increased blood pressure, and your heart rate's always high, and you've got more glucose in the body, and you've got more visceral fat, which is the sort of fat around your organs. And so Well, exercise is so important, so important, to relieve a lot of this stress, and for many, many other reasons, which you're all aware of, no doubt. The wrong type of exercise can exacerbate our stress and our health issues. And this sort of exercise is usually those really long sessions of cardio, or really long sessions of running, or over exercising in general. And this can really increase stress, causing more health and weight issues. So I've really learnt to listen to my body on this. And sometimes I have to go with period, even though I love my exercise and I can't live without it. They are really short spurts, and they're, certain types of exercise, and they're mixed up through the week. I've had to go through periods of just going, okay, nothing. I'm listening to my body. I'm honouring it. It's, overworked. It's overstressed. I'm just going to do nothing for however long that has to be. And in fact, I then end up losing weight, or, I'm doing a few yoga moves or a few stretches, and it's reducing my cortisol. So it's like, oh my God, this is working better, than what I was doing before. So,
one very common sign, Brenda, I know a lot of my clients see, is when they exercise or do very intense exercise, they actually put on weight the next day.
Yeah. It's amazing. The body's amazing. Yeah. It's talking to us all the time.
Yeah, it is. Listen.
You've just got to listen. So don't ignore the signs. They are your body's biofeedback signs that something's not right and needs your attention. So here are some signs: greying hair, premature aging, weight gain, wired but tired, painful heavy periods. I wonder if they sound familiar to anybody.
Yeah, and losing your patience and nothing else, just
snappy, irritable,
feeling thirsty all the time.
Yeah.
Dry skin, lots of things. So here's what you can do. It's not all doom and gloom, everybody.
Oh yeah, I love this part actually.
This is my favorite thing. This is what I was listening to Arianna Huffington. I was listening to her this morning talking, and she's saying she's dedicating her life to the fact that to have a happy life and to get what you want, or to succeed in whichever manner you want, you don't have to drain yourself out. You don't have to have adrenal fatigue, and you just need to have a good routine of implementing these strategies. Meditation, just 5 or 10 minutes a day. Meditation Headspace app, or Calm, or Buddhify, or Nirvana. Those apps, just 5 minutes a day, quiet time for yourself. That's all it can be doing. Swapping out some maybe intense exercise and just putting a little bit of yin activity, a little bit of nice walking, gentle yin yoga, some swimming. Making sure that you've got time out. So, if you can have a little bit of time out from work or from the family, if you're at work, make sure you take your lunch break, or you take that 10-15 minute tea break. If you're at home, do what Brenda does. I love this example. When the kids come home, when Brenda's been working all day, because she's got a family and she's got a business. When Brenda's been working all day, the kids come home, Brenda lies down on the couch with a cup of herb tea, catching up with them, hearing about their day, while they wash up their lunch things and just put that away. Beautiful. Just that.
Oh, I love that.
Doesn't that sound amazing?
And you know what I'm also doing? I'm modelling to my children how important relaxation and rest is, so that they don't turn out into stressed out freaks always on the go as well.
It's so important.
Yeah.
And then also having a low reactive diet. So we talk about the breakthrough diet because that's the diet that we recommend, especially in our program. But it's got those foods that don't cause cortisol spikes. The lots of refined sugar, refined grains, all the dairy and those kind of things that can, if you're reacted to them, it will spike your cortisol. So if you've got a food intolerance, you might actually have resistant weight loss because it's causing elevated cortisol in you. And then balancing out your macronutrients. We will talk about blood sugar in our last webinar, and this is a really important subject because it really helps to just firm up everything we've taught you in all the webinars. But balancing your macronutrients, your protein, your carbs, protein, your carbs, and your fats, balancing those perfectly for your metabolism, to get your metabolism firing and to control your blood sugar, goes a long way to helping your stress levels and your cortisol levels. We talk about macronutrients in the next one, and that's very important, because if you can balance your macronutrients at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that helps with your fatigue. You don't have that all day fatigue. You don't have that dip at lunchtime. You don't have that dip mid-morning. You feel good at 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, and then you just get nice and tired for bedtime later on in the evening. So that's so very important for your whole health, but also other symptoms like fatigue and weight gain that you might be experiencing. So those are my best tips.
Yeah. So I think this is my favorite.
This is my favorite too.
Love this. Any excuse.
Exactly. And this is the thing, and we talk about this, Brent and we talk about this, because when you're very stressed, what's the last thing you want to do? When you feel like shit and you feel tired and you feel frazzled and you've got a dinner coming up and you think, oh, I just can't be bothered, I really don't feel like going out. That's kind of what you feel like. And then when you do go out, you kind of feel really good.
Yeah.
Perks you right back up. And what tends to happen, and this is really interesting, when women talk to women, when women socialize with women, it actually raises your wonderful oxytocin. Oxytocin is your feel-good, huggy, wonderful hormone. It helps with a good orgasm. It helps with you feeling good. It helps with your sleep, which helps to lower cortisol. It's such an important hormone for women. And we will go into it in more detail, I think, in the program. But really important hormone for women. Signs of it being low can be not really want to interacting, problems getting pregnant, problems with orgasm, maybe you didn't have a natural birth. Those are some of the symptoms. Attention deficit disorder in kids, those kind of things. So it's really important. So socializing with your girl pals will help to raise your oxytocin, and that is one of the best things for stress and to reduce your high cortisol levels. So hug it out.
It's sold.
That's why I'm pretty sure all of you who we've got on here, we've got Nicola, we've got Bronwyn, we've got Beck, all of you ladies on here. I'm pretty sure your oxytocin levels are already raising just through this webinar. Well, I hope they are.
And looking at this beautiful photo of that lovely group of women, they look like they're having a blast.
They do, don't they?
Okay, so look, that's basically what we wanted to share. I mean, there's so much more to share, but just reminding you, and we'd actually love to hear in the comments, was there 1 or 2 things there that you think that you can focus on and start to implement today or tomorrow morning, starting from tomorrow morning, in order to help you balance your hormones, your estrogen, and alleviate stress? Please let us know if there was something there that really resonated for you and that you feel that you can achieve and you can do. So yeah, pop them in the comments because we'd love to hear it. But for those who feel like they'd like to be supported through this sort of process to help you identify and tackle and solve all of your health hormone and underlying emotional issues, we'd love to let you know about our fantastic program which has helped thousands of women. It's called Breakthrough to Feeling Fantastic in a Body You Love, and we've been running it for the last few years. And we'd like to start off by just telling you a few things that people have said about it. So this is our lovely Amy. She was probably in our first or second run of the course. And what did she say? Naomi, there's a few slides.
Sorry.
Oh, we don't have the testimonials. Oh, here's Amy. And I think the testimonials are coming up. Okay, so here we go. Here's Paula. She says she loves the Facebook group, the best one she's ever been a part of. As part of the program, you're invited to join a private Facebook group and you have access to Naomi and I and all the beautiful support from all the other members. So you have all your questions answered and everybody's there. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful place to be. Helen says, I felt amazing. I was less bloated. My skin looked good. I was more energetic and I lost weight. And Nikki says, week 1 and I'm already 4 kilos down. Nice to walk past a mirror and not see such a protruding belly. And Michelle says, I can't thank this program, Brenda and Naomi, enough for starting me on this journey for the way I look and feel. 5 kilos down and over 20 centimetres in overall measurement with 8 centimetres off my waist, feeling great.
Oh, beautiful.
So, yeah, they're just like a small amount of results from some of our beautiful members. And yep.
This is what the program's about. It's about balancing your hormones. And we've just had a question from about, is this program for me? I'm 64, I've already gone through menopause. Yes, because you can still balance your hormones no matter how old you are, and it will help with longevity, it will help with you feeling good. So balancing hormones can be done at any age, any age. This program is about losing weight. It's about reducing stress, working all together to reduce our stress and give each other our tips and tricks, detoxifying your body. It's about resetting your thyroid and also combating overeating as well. We do go into that quite a lot. Understanding your emotional eating, creating a positive mindset along with positive habits, and nourishing your body with real food.
Okay, so this is a little bit about what you get in the 28-day program. You get lots of amazing goodies, and they're geared to help you reach your optimal health and reset your hormones. So you get 3 meal plans over 3 weeks, and that's the cleansing period. So all of the recipes are designed to help you cleanse, detoxify, balance your hormones, and also to discover if you have any food intolerances, because Naomi and I see so many clients who have so many food intolerances that they're not aware of. So we help you through that whole process. Okay, you'll hear from some experts. This is Shelley. This interview about emotional eating is so enlightening for so many people. So there's so many nuggets of gold there. And we have another expert called Kiri White who shares her expert advice on emotional eating as well. We've got other speakers like Lauren Fire, who's a motivational speaker, Kate Callahan, who's a nutritionist and demystifies the subject of clean eating. Dr. Ann talks about hormones and macronutrients. Alex Stewart explains how toxins affect our weight. That's often a big eye-opener, that one.
You get this amazing hormone survey, which a lot of time went into this, and years of having clients, and what little symptoms to look out for low estrogen, high estrogen, low cortisol, high cortisol, low thyroid, and low progesterone. So it's a really important survey, and it will help you. You'll get support from Brenda and myself.
We're always there.
Page. And we are there. We live on Facebook. So we'll support you, and the community is great as well. We've got ladies that have done this. We're into our 3rd year, everybody. This is 3rd year. So we've got women that have been doing it since 2014. They are experts in it, and so much advice, knowledge and wisdom and support to be shared right there on the Facebook page. There we go, the breakthrough community. Look at this, very informative between your resources, your responses on Facebook, and all the other wonderful people doing this, and it's so achievable.
Right, so before we start our Q&A, we just want to let you know about your special bonuses tonight. And so today only, actually, Naomi, we've lost, until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, actually, we open the cart for sale for the early bird price, which is $99, and that's for everybody. But if you turned up live tonight and you stayed to the end of the webinar, we are going to offer you to join up to the Breakthrough program for $89. At 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, the cart will revert to the early bird price of $99. So you'll only have up until then, I think that's 12 hours. I'm not really good at the quick maths, but 12 hours to reap that special bonus for you guys only. And the other, so that's what, that's a saving, is that a saving of $60?
$60, yes, for the program.
Yeah.
And as soon as you sign up, you get your first booklet, your induction booklet, and that gets you straight into it, preparing for the cleanse.
And there's lots of things for you to do with that preparation. Actually, the actual price of the program is $147. So, you know, within a week it'll be up at that price. So, and the other special bonus to thank you all for turning up live, and we hope you got a lot out of this webinar, and we hope to see you for the next two, is at the end of these webinars, which will be February the 14th, we're going to send you out a special ebook that basically has everything that we've talked about on the 3 webinars, but in like point form, so you can refer to it, you can print it out, you can always have it on hand. So it's a beautiful little designed ebook, especially for you. So yeah, we always say, you know, get ready for glowing skin, vibrant health, renewed energy, less cravings. And and better moods, and, you know, weight loss if that's what you're aiming for. And please, let's have a look through the question and answers. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, look. Cutting out sugar and meditation, Rachel. Good on you. What a fantastic place to start. They're the 2 things that Rachel's going to start to implement starting from tonight, because she can do some meditation tonight. Including the list of foods in my diet every day. Fantastic, Bronwyn. I love that. Catherine's going to do yin exercising and upping her filtered water intake. Awesome.
What yin exercise, Catherine? What yin exercise will you do? Oh, sorry, I've just copy and pasted something that I shouldn't have. Can I delete?
Oh. Oops. Okay. You want to concentrate on deleting that. SB says switch to glass. Good on you.
Gosh, lucky it wasn't anything else. This live stuff, it could have been anything. Whoa, cutting and pasting.
Oh, God. That's why people love it, Naomi, all the live stuff.
I was actually just pasting the link. I was pasting the link to the breakthrough program.
Yeah. We've got Naomi's going to paste the link for you if anyone wants to sign up. Beck says, I'm basically doing the program, but I'm wondering about the protein. Does it have to be meat? No, it doesn't. We cater for vegetarians on the program as well. There are lots of other options for vegetarians. So thanks for the great webinar. Just wondering if the breakthrough is relatively low carb, low fructose. Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is, Jane. I have a history of gestational diabetes and try and stick to it. Yep, you're in the right place.
Perfect.
It's perfect for you. Catherine's going to be walking.
Yeah, walking. And just getting that. Catherine, where are you located? Are you in Australia, or are you in Europe at the moment? Because I was just saying, especially getting that early morning sun, it is so good for vitamin D levels and the thyroid. So
setting your circadian rhythm and sleep, and because it's all intertwined. Jane, she's going to start with a chia seed pudding for breakfast tomorrow. Oh my God, I don't know if you follow my public Facebook page, Brenda Janschek Health and Lifestyle, but I did a massive cook-up prep on Sunday. The post kind of was quite popular, and I made like a double batch of chia pudding, and I made this granola that I haven't yet blogged, but everyone wants the recipe. So I had my chia pudding with my granola, and I actually had the pawpaw and all those beautiful enzymes, and oh my God, with some lime. It's so delicious. I love my chia pudding. My smoothies and my chia puddings are my favourite breakfast. Well, and my granola. Beck is going to do meditation and yin exercise, yoga and swimming. Fantastic, Beck. Oh, I love this one, Lisa. Lisa, is that the Lisa that I think I know? She's going to drink more and laugh. Absolutely love that.
So, Karen, the program is gluten-free. So all the recipes are gluten-free. Bronwyn, is the breakthrough diet suitable for me, as I have breastfeeding mum with PCOS and lots of stress? It's perfect for you, and the only thing, Bronwyn, we will advise is on the Facebook page, just keep in contact with us. And as a nutritionist and naturopath and as a health coach, we can advise you on adding in maybe a little bit more carbs, some sweet potatoes, some white rice, if you find that you need some more energy while breastfeeding. So just a little bit more carb for you. And then you can couple that with lots and lots of the green smoothies, lots of fluid, the soups, which are wonderful for breastfeeding. So it's perfect for you, particularly if you're stressed. This is a great way for nutrition for you, but also nutrition for the new bub as well.
We've had so many breastfeeding mums do the program. So the program is gluten-free and it's dairy-free, but full of beautiful, delicious recipes. It's amazing what you can create without, certain foods in the diet. It's very simple food. You just have to be a little bit organised, and we give you a week in advance to get organised. So we send out the recipes with a week to get prepared before the cleanse, and as each week unfolds.
Love it. Ruth not working tomorrow, so I'm lying on the couch whilst the kids wash the lunch gear and hear about school.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm glad I inspired you, Ruth. Alison says, yes, Alison, there'll be a replay. When are we sending that out, Naomi, tonight or tomorrow morning?
I'll be sending the replay out tonight to everybody. Okay. Yeah, I've just got to download it.
Yeah, so once you're signed up, Alison, which you obviously are, you get the replay of all the videos, but there's all different special bonuses throughout the webinars, and you only get those if you turn up live. I know you can't always do that, but just thought I'd mention. It's not always possible, I know. But
so another question about menopause. So yeah, the program is to balance your hormones no matter what life stage you're at. We do balancing them through this diet helps with low estrogen, high estrogen. So if you are postmenopausal, you'll still get a lot out of this program. I've also had a question here from a lady asking about her 12-year-old who hasn't actually started her period yet. So here's the thing: I work with a lot of young girls, some before they've started their periods, some when they've started them quite prematurely. And even I've tested hormones in even 6-year-olds, and even a 6-year-old has elevated estrogen, because estrone is from the environment, from stress, and from fatty tissue. So even girls that haven't started menstruating can have elevated estrogen dominance. They might be moody, they might have bad skin, they might have weight that they've put on their tummy, even at a young age. So I would say to the lady, I think you asked this privately, that's why you did the question. I think you did it to me privately, so I won't say your name, but to the lady that asked about her 12-year-old daughter, why don't you do it together? That would be a really nice thing for you to do. You could do the program and you could do it with her. You could do the meals together, do the tips and tricks, and whatever you're trying to achieve for your 12-year-old, what it is you're trying to achieve. Maybe she's got some acne problems, or maybe there are some hormonal issues or some mood issues. Lots of young girls around 12 do get anxiety. So I would say do it together, support each other. But the diet is perfect for a 12-year-old girl.
So lots of families come on board. Like, families do it all together because it's totally healthy, fantastic for your health, whole foods, real foods. Basically, that's what it is. So sometimes parents decide to just tweak it a little bit for their kids, because if you've got teenagers, like I've got tween and a teenager, and they're very, very active and very sporty. So I include some brown rice or some rice, extra sweet potato, some potato to the dishes for them, some quinoa, that sort of thing.
So Belinda's just mentioned alopecia for her 12-year-old. So alopecia can be hormonal. It can be very related to stress. Sometimes it can be fungal as well, a few different things. But definitely getting the diet in order and removing gluten, Belinda, would definitely be the first thing for your daughter. I actually got alopecia when I was, I think, about 8. And I put it down to stress of my brother leaving to go to university, actually, at the time. But so yeah, I think do it together. I think that'd be a lovely thing for mum and daughter to do. So yeah, it is dairy free. We recommend we recommend some nice almond milk, some nice cashew nut milk, some nice coconut milk.
Oh, I just answered that.
Oh,
No, I was just typing it up, but I stopped. So yeah, macadamia milk and cashew milk and almond milk, all those sorts of things are great too.
The reason that we do sway away from soy is because we talk about this in the next webinar, but the big boys when it comes to food intolerance, and soy is one of them. So it's good if you have estrogen problems, if you have sinus problems, if you have allergy, if you have depression, if you have thyroid problems. It's good to actually remove soy, and also acne as well. I've sometimes found clients that have removed soy milk, their acne clears up.
Would the program? Yeah.
So yes, we go into low progesterone so much. That's a passion of mine, because low progesterone is a chronic hormone disorder due, Phyllis, because of stress. So stress, like I said, steals progesterone. Beautiful, lovely, calming progesterone gets stolen by cortisol. And our poor pituitary and hypothalamus just doesn't know what it's doing. So we talk to you about the best ways to get your progesterone up, to help you relax, help you feel calm, help with weight, help with water retention, stop any breast lumps, painful breasts, depression, and also insomnia. So we do go through that. Yeah.
I'm just having a moment with Andrea. I haven't seen her. I've known her for quite a while, and I haven't seen her for some time because she's in Berlin, it would seem. And she was just asking if the program is good for cold climates. And look, it definitely is. We've got lots of mix of recipes. Andrea does have quite a few smoothies, but you can opt out of those, and you can definitely have your chia puddings more warmed up as well. So, yeah, it can definitely work for a cold climate.
Ashembri, why, I'm interested to know why you're having your thyroidectomy. You're having a thyroidectomy on the 16th. Interested to know why you're having it. What are we today? The 1st. I don't know what your symptoms are, but anything to do with thyroid, definitely watch the 3rd webinar. We talk about thyroid. It's so very important to make sure you've got the right diet to support your thyroid. You're having iodine so you don't have nodules on your thyroid. If you've got an enlarged thyroid or goiter, you need to look at removing gluten from your diet and taking certain supplements. So we do talk about that. I would do the program before, to be honest, because I don't know your symptoms, but you never know how to make you feel. You might actually start to get some relief from your symptoms. I definitely would recommend it, Ashambri.
Sorry, Naeem, I was just going to say the thyroid webinar's on the 14th of February.
I would watch that, but definitely if your thyroidectomy is on the 16th, we're the 1st now. I'm kind of saying that because I know that this program really helps for thyroid issues, get you strong as well if you are going to have an operation.
Naomi, did you answer the question? I'm just recalling them. I can't actually find them all now as I read them. But I think somebody was asking if it's good, the diet is good for those final last 5 kilos, which is so funny because that was a real focus of ours at the start of helping you lose a stubborn weight. So 100%. It's fantastic, and we've had lots of people who struggle with losing the last 5 kilos actually achieve their goals on this program.
Yeah, I mean, what we do is, as Brenda meant, we go into, so if you've got to a stage where you can't lose anymore, there might be something going on. Maybe you're at, this is a particular weight. It depends where it is. Maybe it's hormonal, maybe it's food intolerance, maybe it's stress. So we will just, during the program, we'll actually help to answer some of those questions. Things you may not have thought about when it comes to weight. So that's where it's good.
Yes, that's right, because it's not just all about food and exercise. It's a very big picture, and that's what we do in the breakthrough course. And we go into many, many different areas. We approach it holistically because honestly, to lose the stubborn weight and to have permanent weight loss or permanent positive health, you need to address these factors. If you're just going to be doing exercise and diet, you're not necessarily going to achieve what you want to achieve, and you're not going to necessarily have long-lasting success.
Yes, a Chambry join, definitely. With an we can yeah, the nodule that I would join. I've just seen another comment from her. Beck, we will finish up. We'll finish up once we've got to all the questions, but I think we've kind of got to everything. So there might be a few we've missed out.
So ever since I had a miscarriage, this is Rachel, 2 years ago, I cannot lose weight and have put on 10 kilos. I've tried everything. Do you think this will help with me balancing my hormones back to normal? Well, that's one of the main reasons the program was created, Rachel, and we've had a lot of success with that. So, yes, a big resounding yes.
Definitely will help. My daughter is 10 and has methylation gene mutation. Will this help her? So, Megan, we don't go into too many specific details with methylation, MTHFR, but I will tell you one thing. MTHFR and methylation is preceded by elevated estrogen. So by balancing hormones, you actually help to prevent the gene from mutating even more or having complications. So doing the breakthrough program and having the breakthrough diet and balancing hormones and cleansing will help with symptoms and will help to balance out. In the program, though, we don't actually do any webinars, or we don't have any guest experts specifically talking about methylation, but I'm more than happy to share with you while we're doing the program other things. I've talked about methylation on my Facebook page. We've got some blog posts, so we can share those along the way. But definitely a low reactive diet, a low toxin diet, and a low toxin lifestyle will help with methylation gene mutations.
Alison says, if you've done the program in the past, are there new things in the program? Is it worth signing up again? Alison, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We've had a lot of success with the program and a lot of great feedback, and it seems to work really well. So there isn't anything new. But like we said, we highly recommend doing a big 3-week cleanse twice a year. And if you're due for a cleanse, it is such a great way to do it. There is a sign-up link that you will want to be looking out for in the Breakthrough Graduates Facebook page if you haven't already joined there, or you'll be getting an email. All members will be getting an email. Has that email been sent out, Naomi, to members?
I'll have to double check that.
Yeah.
Alison, it also depends when you did it. I mean, we've sent out a link for the graduates. Look on the Facebook page. I'll double check the mail out. Use that link. It's a link specific for the Breakthrough Graduates. And if you haven't done it since, there's even, we've added some extra. There's an expert that we added last time. So there is a few new things. If you did it last year, November, it's pretty much the same as November. But if you haven't done it since then, it's there's a few things that are different. But check out for the link. Go on the Facebook Graduates page. That's a special one for you.
Jenny says, what about putting on weight? My hubby has always been painfully skinny on all of our married life of 42 years.
So normally this is it's malnutrition, not being able to absorb nutrients, and that can be due to food intolerance, thyroid issues, stress. So doing something this is funny, isn't it, Brenda? Having a diet that supports weight, your weight, is about losing weight, and for some, putting on weight.
Yes, and that's the amazing thing. Because if your gut isn't functioning, and I've got, I see kids, that come to see me that are really skinny as well, Naomi, and no idea, that not absorbing nutrients is what can lead to that, or food intolerances, or it turns out that they're celiac and all those sorts of things. So Jenny, one thing that we do, and I mentioned this already, is we remove a lot of the most reactive foods, the foods that people tend to be most intolerant to, in order to discover. And then we slowly reintroduce them. We tell you how to do that properly. It's basically an elimination type diet in order to discover, whether there are intolerances. That's one way. There are many ways of trying to figure it out. I wonder, Jenny, if there's a bit more information about, some tests that your husband's had, or, any clues into why this might be the case.
Definitely gluten can cause cause you not to gain weight and lose weight at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, yay, Rachel signed up. Yay, I'm excited to start the program, and we're excited to have you, Rachel. So you'll get your induction booklet now, and you're going to love it because it's going to give you lots of stuff to help you prepare for the cleanse, and you'll be able to join the private Facebook group straight away. That doesn't become active until the course actually starts, but, you know, there's a bit of information in there and a couple of questions we've asked. So when we start, we'll ask everyone to introduce themselves, and, you know, we love reading through all of those. So welcome, and we're excited to have you on board.
I think actually there's someone just mentioned, someone signed up, and I think I do still have an issue with the Facebook page just to that person that asked me. So I will send you a new link. So something's happened there. So don't worry about that. The Facebook page is yeah. So I'll send you.
Well, that's good to know so we can fix it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I think that's it. If anyone's asked a question that we haven't answered, could you just pop it in the chat now before we sign off, so we make sure that we get around to answering your questions. And we hope that has been an informative. We've had a few, you know, messages here saying thanks for a great webinar. So we hope it was of value. Oh, Giselle, yay! We've got Giselle who's come on board as well. Yeah, we hope you've got some value out of this. We hope you start to make some change. Hope to see you on the next 2 webinars where we offer so much more information. Diet and toxins is the next one. I think that's the 10th of February.
Yeah, diet and toxins. We did do them at different times. So because we've had people before just say they can't make a particular one. So that's why they're at different times this time. Brenda, would you do me a favour and just post the link? I can't post anything at the moment. Can you just pop in the chat the link to the breakthrough program and just pop that it's $89 until tomorrow? That these guys. Yeah, I can't seem to chat. I can't seem to post anything
until 10 a.m. Doing it now.
It wouldn't be a Brenda and Naomi webinar without at least one tech issue.
Oh my God, it can be that tech issue any day of the week compared to some that we've had to endure in the past. I'm happy tonight. Everything's worked out perfectly.
Yeah, we've had beautiful ladies on, some wonderful ladies. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Do you know what? I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm going to go back over this webinar chat, see what questions you've got, but I'm looking forward to working with you all on the breakthrough program and chatting to you all in the next webinars. I'm so excited and just listening to your stories and to your journeys. It's wonderful. So thank you all so much.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks for your time. We know it's precious and we appreciate you being here. Good night. Have a great night's sleep.
Thanks, ladies. Night. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye, Lisa. Thanks so much, Rachel. Bye. See you on the program. Bye. Bye.